What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I wanted to go over some winners and some losers I had from the NBA Summer League, as overall, it was an impressive performance by our Chicago Bulls, and also want to preface today's video by saying there are no true losers of the Summer League period, but some guys did not live up to my expectations that I had for them. But before we dive into that, guys, I want Bulls Nation to sound off in the comments section. Who impressed you the most during the Bulls Summer League? Drop that name of that player down in the comments section. And let's dive into my number one winner here, and that is Modest Buzelis. Coming in at the age of 19 years old, was the first-round pick from the G League Ignite, and he lived up to the expectation I had for him and maybe even a little more this past Summer League. Now, looking at his field goal percentage and his three-point percentage, you're probably saying, how could he be a winner when he shot 33% from the field and 21% from downtown? I understand that, but the fact that he was still able to average 17 points a night, 4.2 rebounds, and actually did average 2 blocks and 2 steals kind of speaks to his defensive prowess he could have on that side of the floor. And the number one thing I loved about Buzelis in the Summer League was he would have games, he would start off 0 for 5, 0 for 6, or whatever it may be, and he would continue to stay aggressive, continue to attack the basket, never really saw his confidence, vary in any certain way. He was just steady the entire time. And, my overall take when I was watching Buzelis is, listen, Bulls fans, this will be a process, but he looks the part so far. Like, I don't want Bulls fans to freak out if Buzelis has, a shaky rookie year where maybe he isn't the most efficient basketball player. But, he looks the part so far. He's had a ton of great, NBA skill set-esque moves where he had a couple turnaround jumpers out of the post. And it's kind of my biggest takeaway is also I would love to see Buzelis work out of the post more. Like, obviously that will come with him adding more weight on his frame. But I think if he could get a really solid face-up and back-to-the-basket game right outside that free-throw line area, kind of that LeBron role, like, I think that's where he could be really, really successful. And we saw the athleticism for Buzelis. I mean, I'm still not over this poster dunk. I think I probably watched this around 150 times so far, his dunk versus the Golden State Warriors. It was absolutely nasty on the fast break, rose up over the top of 2 Golden State Warriors players, and he ended up throwing it down. And also my favorite part of this play was after the fact. When he was on the ground, he looked up at the Warriors defender, flexed on him, gave him a mean mug straight in the dead of his eyes, and it kind of just speaks to the confidence and the swagger he plays with, which is so important. But also, I love this chase down block he had against the Milwaukee Bucks. I was watching this game live, and I was like, first off, Buzelis got beat off the dribble, and I'm like, no way he's able to catch up to him. Well, he did, and he ended up pinning it against the backboard. I mean, look at this clip right here from Buzelis. Guard beats him to the left. He thinks he has a free, wide-open layup, and Buzelis sent that off the glass, and the Bulls are off and running the other way. Buzelis has definitely lived up, to my expectations and even a little more so far during the Summer League. Just love the way he's played, and, I'm just very, very optimistic about the future the Bulls may have with him running that 3 or 4 position for this team. But my second biggest winner from the Summer League was second-round pick last season out of Tennessee, Julian Phillips, who was still only 20 years old. And listen, I've loved what I've seen from Phillips. And, the main part that I liked about him is that all of his shots just felt like they were in the flow of the offense. He never felt like he was trying to do too much or create too much, which I think a lot of these guys, when they're in years 2 or 3 of their NBA career, they come into the Summer League and they just want to dominate. And I understand that, but Julian Phillips came in, played within the flow of the offense, was a plus defender on that side of the floor, and a big reason why he ended up averaging, almost 14 points a night, shot around 37% from 3, which was fantastic, averaged 6 rebounds and 1.8 steals per night. And when I think about Buzelis, Julian Phillips, and Patrick Williams, like, the Bulls are creating a great young core of wings. Like, we talk about this youth movement as a whole, but specifically at the wing position. Patrick Williams, 22. Julian Phillips, 20. Modest Buzelis, 19. Like, you potentially have 3 young wings that could be the backbone of your franchise moving forward, as those 3 guys are the cornerstones of building an elite defense and also just having guys who can knock down wide open threes in the flow of the offense. If all 3 of these guys could get the 3-point percentage up to like 37, 40%, the Bulls could be cooking with grease here moving forward. And, my take on Phillips and just watching him during the Summer League was, if he can develop a consistent jumper, he will be a solid rotational wing moving forward. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that Phillips could really develop into one of the better 3-and-D players in the NBA. He has the athleticism. It is just going to come down to, him maintaining that 3-point average. And if he could somehow shoot it at 37, 40%, like he's going to be one of the better 3-and-D wings in the entire NBA. But let's talk about a hometown kid now, DJ Stewart. And he had that iconic 37-point night on Wednesday, which was fantastic. Or I think it was Friday night when he had the 37-point game. It was awesome. He was pulling up from three. He was taking heat checks. He was great. But his overall numbers were fantastic, guys. I mean, averaging 17.5 points per game, 6.4 assists per night, had almost a steal and a half, shot 40% from downtown. That was amazing. So, my thing with DJ Stewart, I don't know if he'll be able to work his way into being a true rotational piece at that guard position, but he plays really hard. He leaves it all out there on both sides of the floor, and, it's overall, I've been impressed from him, and we actually had Woj break this the other day. The Bulls are actually signing free agent guard DJ Stewart to a two-way contract. Stewart, only 22 years old, averaged 19.3 points per game in the Bulls Summer League. That was before their last game, so it obviously hurt his average a little bit, but he also had that 37 points on Friday night. He's been looking the part. He's just another guy that adds to this young core and this youth movement here with the Chicago Bulls. But speaking about the young core and this youth movement, do you guys believe in the young Bulls players as it stands right now? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comment section. Be honest with me, and let me know your thoughts down below. Now let's kick it to the big fella, national champion, Adama Sanogo, at the age of 22 years old, who he played very well. And you may be asking, well, why is he a loser? Why is he a loser? We'll get to that here in a second. But checking out his numbers from the Summer League period, man, he was awesome. I mean, 15 points a night, almost averaged a double-double with 8.8 rebounds, averaged almost a block per event, and then also the field goal percentage, very high. Obviously, he's only taken, or he's not taking a lot of shots outside of the restricted area, but still, at 62.2%, you'll take that. And I also loved it. He shot 87.5% from the free throw line. So that was great. And listen, Sanogo played great during the Summer League, but why is he a loser is I am just unsure if his style of play and being that, archetype of big will ever have a place in the NBA. Like we see it now. Like even a big reason why I'm so big on Jalen Smith, like him having that stretch five ability. Like that is so key moving forward. So I just, I feel bad for Sanogo because considering he has been awesome. Like he has been awesome for the Bulls. He had that 20-20 game last year during the regular season. I just don't know if you are truly going to be a winning team in the NBA, can you have your center have no ability outside the restricted area? And plus when he is on the perimeter, switching on the guards, he can, get picked on a little bit. So if you're not the greatest perimeter defender as a big, and you also don't really have anything besides a dunk in your offensive arsenal, could you really mark yourself, or could you really carve yourself a role, out here in the NBA? Not sure, but I hate calling Sanogo a loser on this list, but I'm not sure if his style of play will ever translate to the next level. But for number 2 for me on my losers list, and this is a true loser, Marcus Domask. And, he played for the Fighting Illini this past season. He is an older player, and I honestly expected him to fight for a roster spot, but he never really got that opportunity. And he only played in 3 games for the Bulls during the Summer League, and he really didn't get that much action, which I was actually a little shocked about. But, hey, 2.3 points per night, 1.7 rebounds, no assist at all. Field goal percentage was pretty low. Made 1 of 5 attempts from downtown, which landed him at 20%. I thought he was going to be able to carve himself out a decent role with this Bulls Summer League team. Not sure if they're ever going to bring him back, to this group, but, that's a big reason why he finds himself on the loser list. And then also, Andrew Funk is a loser for me at 24 years old. Bulls signed him last season, midway through the year, and, he's a sniper from downtown. But, hey, in Summer League, he couldn't really, hit water if he fell out a boat. And, he shot 17.6% from deep. Obviously not the strongest there, but in 5 Summer League games, only 2.5 points, 0.8 rebounds, 0.8 assists, or 0.6 assists per night. Obviously not the best there from Funk, so that's why I got him him as a loser on this list. And listen, I do want to make this point: there are no true losers from Summer League. There is one guy I want to talk about here really quickly. Henry Drell, board number 77 for the Bulls Summer League team. He was an absolute sniper during the Summer League period, and I am not sure if he'll ever, be an NBA caliber player where he could be a good rotational player, as, he can't really move too well laterally, and I just think he's going to get picked on a ton if he, ends up playing for the Bulls, but, during the regular season. So I liked what I saw from him, but I didn't want to put him a winner on this list, as I just don't really see him ever, ever really getting a true chance in the NBA to be a rotational player. But hey, overall, I thought it was a very successful summer league for the Bulls. Obviously, they didn't end up winning as much games as I would have hoped. But again, it's summer league. It's all about the player development over the wins. And I think we saw that with two of the key players on this roster in Julian Phillips and Modest Buzelis. But hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, I want to get a real one roll call to end out today's episode. So if you guys did, give me a real one down below, and I'll show you guys some extra love down in the comments section. But overall, I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the Bulls Report here by Chat Sports over the past couple of weeks. The support has been awesome. We crossed over 9,000 subscribers, which was great, as we're on the road to 10K. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe today. Give me a follow on Twitter right there. Handle is @PatSieps. We'll see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.